Hello and welcome students. Today we are on the next part of the Climate of India chapter where we will discuss about the seasons of India. Seasons of India. Till the last video we have discussed about the climate of India in general and the factors affecting the climate of India. Today this video have many subparts as it is a long video detailing about every seasons of India. Generally we know the seasons are basically like spring, autumn, summer and winter, but the more critical division of seasons of India is actually present. Seasons of India are basically characterized by the following different seasons: the hot monsoon or the advancing monsoon season. So the first feature that we will get is the hot season. It is the hot season, March to May. Next, monsoon or the advancing monsoon season, which is June to September. Third, the season of the retreating monsoon, which is October to November. The cold season, December to the end of February. So here we can see there are 4 seasons mainly critically divided. Number 1, the hot season, March to May. Number 2, monsoon or the advancing monsoon season, June to September. Third, the season of the retreating monsoon, October and November. The cold season, December to the end of February. This is exactly what you followed over your book of Frank. So, whatever is present over there, it is the exact brief that you will get in your school textbook. As many students are asking me the description that whatever we are dealing, we are not having the book. So, whatever the description I am giving, mostly are from their book, textbook, what we are going to use. Let's start with the cold season, which is December to the February. This is the cold season demarcated specially. Let's see what are the temperature, weather, pressure, winds and rainfall of the cold season, which is December to February. The sun shines vertically between the equator on 23rd September onwards and the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees south, as the 23rd of December. So the winter season set in by about the middle of October, when the sun rays do not fall vertically on any part of the subcontinent. Let's go to the temperature. The average temperature is below 21 degrees centigrade, is very low at a high altitudes of the north where snow falls. January is being pointed as the coldest month. Let's look at the weather. Weathers are mostly clear skies, fine cool weather, light northerly winds and low humidity are characterized in this season. What about the air pressure? The land cools faster than the sea. As a result, high pressure develops over a Central Asia due to the presence of the Himalayas. A subsidiary high pressure area develops over the plain in the northwest section covering Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana and Punjab. The sea is relatively warm and is a region of low pressure. Let's move forward to the wind. Winds start blowing from the high pressure area over the land to the low pressure area over the sea in a general northeast direction. Due to the topography of India, they are westerly or northwesterly down the Ganga Valley, northerly in the Ganga Delta and become northeasterly over the Bay of Bengal, where they pick up moisture and blow towards Tamil Nadu. Let's move to the winter rainfall. As you can see in the slide, it is mentioned Tamil Nadu receives rain from the northeast monsoon, which is very important. These northeast monsoon offshore winds bring no rainfall to the most part of India. However, Tamil Nadu receives rain from the northeast monsoon as the winds back pick moisture when they are crossing the Bay of Bengal. It has basically divided into two sections where the Tamil Nadu coast, which is a southeast coast, is receiving winter rainfall as northeast monsoon winds cross the Bay of Bengal, and also some parts of northwest India, which is parts of Punjab, Haryana, Jammu, Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh. They receive very light to moderate rainfalls, maximum 5 to 7 centimeter due to the westerly depression or temperate cyclone. Okay, it is not due to the effect of monsoon, it is due to the effect of westerly depression or due to the temperate cyclone which is coming from the Mediterranean Sea, So we can see that two regions are there. One is Tamil Nadu coast, another is the Punjab area receiving winter rainfall, both for different reasons. One for the northeast monsoon, another is for the temperate cyclone. Let's move to the hot season, which is March to May. Due to the apparent movement of the sun northward, vertical rays advances towards the Tropic of Cancer in 23.5 degree north. The belt of maximum temperature moves northward during March and April from the southern parts of the peninsula towards the northern plain. As we can see the detailed over there, the same thing whichever we have crossed in the cold season. Let's look at the temperature. Very high temperature are recorded. The southern parts of the peninsula and the coastal plains have a maximum temperature of about 35 degrees centigrade. Most parts of the northern plains have a maximum temperature exceeding even 40 to 45 degrees centigrade. Rajasthan experiences mostly 40 to 45 degree or on top of that also. A strong pressure gradient gets established from the subtropical high pressure belt in the Indian Ocean south of the equator to the low pressure trough over the northern plains. So we are getting a low pressure zone and a high pressure zone. The low pressure zone is basically in the northern plain. The weather condition is very dust storm with strong winds are common in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, where they are known as northwesters. This particular map, please look at to it. It is mentioned with the local names of these hot blowing winds which are significant in the climate of India. See, the maximum section is being covered with a name as Lu or northwesters, and in the West Bengal and Assam where they are known as Kal Boishakhi also. The strong winds cause torrential rain and destruction to the standing crops and property. That is why they are called as Kal Boishakhi, the calamity of the Boishakh month, which is April and May. In the South India, mango showers occurred. We can see in the map. Please look at to the portion of the Kerala where we can find in South India, mango showers occur during the April-May, which bring a little rain beneficial for the early ripening of mangoes. They are also called cherry blossom in Karnataka. As we can see in the map, it is mentioned as blossom shower, which is cherry blossom in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, beneficial for tea and coffee plantation. So it is basically for tea and coffee plantation. Next, we will move forward to the next season, which is a monsoon or the advancing monsoon season of June to September. The intense heat that prevail in the Indian subcontinent cause a low pressure region over the northern plains. It is intense enough to attract the moisture bearing winds from the Indian Ocean. Thus, the southeast winds from the southern hemisphere are affected towards India. These strong onshore winds are the southwest monsoons. They bring torrential downpour accompanied by thunder and lightning. They bring relief and give water to the parched and thirsty earth. After the summer, it is being pointed that it brings a lot of moisture, lot of rainfall. Let's look at to the map. We can see at the side of India, one side we are having Arabian Sea, one side we are having Bay of Bengal. So by that we can point out that the monsoon are basically coming from two sections, as in the form of two branch. One branch is coming from the Arabian Sea and one branch is coming from the Bay of Bengal. So let's look at to the Arabian Sea branch, where the high Western Ghat force the moist air to rise quite high. Heavy rain, almost 200 to 250 centimeter, falls on the windward slope of the Western Ghats, while the leeward side receives only 60 centimeter of rainfall. The rain shadow area receives still less. We know what is the rain shadow area. The opposite side of the rain bearing, moisture bearing leeward side, where the rain, the cloud does not contain any more moisture, so it receives a rain shadow area. The Aravalli hills run almost parallel to the direction of the branch and do not form a barrier to the intercept the wind. Hence, it does not receive much rainfall from this branch. As in the Aravalli mountain, it is parallel, so it does not become an obstacle for the monsoon wind, so it does not receive any rainfall over that region. Let's look at the Bay of Bengal branch of the southwest monsoon. These winds passing over the Ganga and Brahmaputra delta strike against the lower ranges of the Himalaya, Chittagong and Assam hill, and then rise and cause very heavy rain in West Bengal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh and southern slopes of the Khashi Jayantia hills. Especially you can see in the map where it is mentioned as Meghalaya, that region is strike first and receives maximum amount of rainfall. The region Meghalaya. Next come to the last season, which is the retreating monsoon, which season of retreating monsoon is mostly October and November, as it is mentioned. In the diagram, wherever is LP mentioned, that is pointed as the low pressure, and wherever the HP is mentioned, that is pointed as the high pressure. This is a period of transition between the final withdrawal of the southwest monsoon and the regular setting of the northeast monsoon. With the apparent movement of the sun south of the equator, the low pressure area over the northwestern part, as we can see, most of the clouds are denoted in the map is in the northwestern side of the India, weakens and southwestern monsoon starts withdrawing from subcontinent. The weather is this time very clear sky with very low humidity, and the weather becomes fresh and pleasant in the north, while the air becomes almost stagnant in the Deccan Plateau region. The sultry and the oppressive weather is referred to as October heat. It is basically a transition period between the hot rainy season to the cold dry season. In this period, due to local variations of heat and moisture, tropical cyclones are caused, which originate in the neighborhood of the Andaman Island and travel west or northwest in the Bay of Bengal. Strong winds, torrential rainfall and high waves along the coast are associated with the passage of tropical cyclones. The Tamil Nadu coast and Andhra Pradesh experiences heavy rainfall, high waves, and strong winds from these cyclones, which are often very destructive of life and property. They usually occur in the month of October and November. So these are the 4 seasons which we have gone through, and let's look out to the more feature of climate of India. As we have understood by now that not all the regions of India are receiving the rainfall in the same amount. So there is a distribution of rainfall of India throughout the country. As the map pointing out, whichever is pointed very dark blue color towards up over there in a light blue color, pointing to very less rainfall, which is in millimeter, and towards the very dark color, which is the 4000 and above millimeter, which is more above the 400 centimeter. So there are regions which are receiving heavy rainfall. Especially 3 regions are pointing over here. One region is the western slope of the Western Ghat and the western coastal plain of Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Kerala. The next is the southern part of Kerala, which gets rainfall from both advancing monsoon and also from the retreating monsoon. And the third one, the southern slopes of the eastern Himalayas, particularly Garo, Khashi, Jayantia, Patkai, Naga and Lusai hills, commonly referred to as Assam Hill. Same, the Meghalaya region is receiving the maximum amount of rainfall over throughout the period. That is very important. What we can get to see is that, see in this diagram, distribution of rainfall, where it is mentioned in the upper map in the section of Assam, basically pointing to the maximum rainfall, whereas the other side, which is the third desert, which we will come later on, in that third desert area we are going to receive extremely less rainfall. And the Western Ghat region, in that Western Ghat region we are receiving the rainfall twice, the winter time also, as well as in the retreating monsoon, as well as in the advancing monsoon time period. Let's look at to one of the most important division of here is that why Thar is a desert. Why particularly Thar region, which is situated at the Rajasthan region, why it is becoming a desert? Okay, why there is very less rainfall? There are plenty of reasons is present for this, but basically some important reasons are there is very little summer rain, less than 25 centimeter annually. Humidity is very low in summer, that will be in summer. Humidity is very low in summer. The Arabian Sea branch of the southwest monsoon does not give much rainfall, as the Aravallis, which are parallel to these winds, do not form any kind of barriers to intercept them. The Bay of Bengal branch of the southwest monsoon has little or no moisture by the time it reaches Thar after traversing the Ganga Valley. A little rain falls on the windward side of the Aravallis, but no rain in the Thar, as it is in the rain shadow area now. Thar, situated in the western Rajasthan, is a comparatively low-lying region with the Aravallis lying parallel to it. So humidity is very low and there is very little rainfall. That's why it has become a Thar desert. It has become a Thar desert. The points which are mentioned in the slide, it is the most important point that you can write if this question arises, as why Thar is transformed as a deserted land, why it is continuing to be desert, why there is no rainfall present over here. This is the whole sum up of the climate of India including the factors. Then we came into the seasons, we talked about the seasons, and then we talked about the rainfall distribution. I hope you people will go through this video, go slowly so that you can read out every point that is mentioned in the slide and can listen properly whatever the material that I am providing to you. Please go through them. If you have any queries, Elias Mayer Boys, please, you can get back to me always. Please, in this pandemic situation, stay at home. Let your family member to stay at home also. Stay safe, keep washing your hands, stay connected, stay well. Thank you very much for this video watching. Please keep it watching. We will go through the next section where we will discuss about the question answer that we will get from this chapter in the ICSE. Let's be tuned.